Hi, welcome back to Capacity TV. I'm Ben, and I'm joined by David Gray from GrayMatter Advisory out here in sunny Fort Lauderdale. How's it going?
Pretty good. I'm having a great time down here.
Thank you for joining me outside today. Can you walk us through, David, a little bit about what you guys do at GrayMatter Advisory and actually your background as well, because that's really interesting.
Sure. Yeah. So my background is I've got 30 years of cable and telecom experience, both at Time Warner Cable and at Charter Communications. The first 20 years of my career, I was the senior most marketing and sales leader in a series of like 7 division operations.
Sure.
So these are independent, largely independent operations with autonomous P&Ls. I had P&L responsibility and EBITDA responsibility and subscriber growth responsibility. During that time, I became recognized and was successful as not only a marketing leader, but a turnaround expert. And the company, in fact, relocated me 4 times, specifically to turn around failing operations, to get them on a good path and a good growth trajectory.
That's fantastic. So based on your kind of expertise in this area, where do you feel the US broadband market is going? Any trends that you are actually monitoring right now?
Sure. So, I mean, right now, of course, the entire broadband market, while it's growing, growth has slowed and slowed considerably over the last 12 to 18 months. The other thing that we see is there's a fair amount of share shift between the various players, as there always is. Fiber continues to grow, but it has slowed. Fixed wireless, which for the better part of the last 2 years has been the biggest share gainer of all providers, they've also slowed pretty considerably. And of course, the big cable guys, they've been losing for more than, I think it's 9 quarters now straight that they've lost customers. So, I think those trends are continuing to play out. If you believe the press releases, the sort of ACP, the post-ACP hangover for cable is largely now past. So we might expect to see some mitigation there, if not outright gains. But I think it's fair to expect that those guys will continue to leverage their free MVNO offers to sort of claw back the share that they've lost over the last couple of years.
David, there's a lot of convergence going on, some expansions and a lot of some better equipment availability comparative to the last couple of years. What do you see, or what do you rather expect going on into 2025? What's your kind of key markets?
So, I think new household formation is a very important factor that I'm not sure is always fully appreciated. It is there's basically 2 main drivers of broadband growth, right? So how well you're penetrating your existing passings, and then the extent to which new households are being created. And that tends to be a rising tide which lifts all boats. That has slowed. I mean, existing home sales in the U.S. dropped to their lowest level in 30 years last year. The Harvard Joint Council on Housing Studies has projected the lowest rate of new household formation, again, in about 30 years. And similarly, the Home Builders Association is also projecting, I think, a 20% decline of new housing units over the next 10 years. So that's a significant factor that I think everyone needs to appreciate and understand. And what that means with the lack of that tailwind, it means that the players who are, they're looking to grow their subscriber base, they're going to need to be sharper and more effective and more impactful in their marketing tactics than ever, because if they want to maintain their growth, they're going to need to do those things.
So, David, in relation to that, I want to talk a little bit about GTMs. In your view, what can providers actually do to refine GTM programs and actually improve overall performance?
That's a great question. I mean, it's something I've spoken with a number of people down here in Florida this week about. I was meeting with a CEO of an ISP in the Midwest, and he told me this morning that one of his greatest challenge is just simply driving awareness, brand awareness, which you need, of course, before you can start the consideration and sales process. And, it's one thing to say, well, let's make people aware of the brand. But, with limited marketing resources, that's a real challenge. And so, providers need to make sure that they're looking at their go-to-market strategies and ensuring that it is cost-effective, efficient, that there's minimal waste, so that one can drive those metrics and get consumers to the consideration and purchase stage.
Okay, so my final question for you, because you've had those conversations while you're here, what are you actually telling these guys? What's your advice, and where can GrayMatter actually help them, improve that?
Yeah, I mean, great question. The things that I can help with is, generally, most of the people that I've met in this space who are driving, the sales and marketing decisions are very smart people. It's just that the teams are limited in size. The resources of course are constrained, and it's sometimes a matter of they're triaging the most important issues, and sometimes issue number 5 or number 6 might get them in the long run, and it really needs to be dealt with now. Whether that is lagging penetration in 2 or 3 construction phases relative to the rest of them, or a direct sales program that is not, being properly managed and not driving. Direct sales is a great way to drive incremental subscriber growth,
sure,
but it is your most costly cost per sale, right? And if you don't have a well-run direct sales program, it's a great way to drive churn, and it's a great way to waste a lot of money. So those are the things that we don't want to do. We want to make sure that our direct marketing programs are smart and well thought through, and are efficient as possible. So those are a variety of things that I can help small providers and mid-sized providers in the mid-market to stabilize and to expand their growth.
Fantastic. That sounds like a really good way to help them out, and I hope that this time next year we'll be actually expanding and seeing how many more we can help out with that.
Hear, hear.
Thank you so much for your time, David.
Thank you very much. Appreciate it.
That's it from us here in Fort Lauderdale for now. Please keep in touch and check out everything on Capacity TV and the Capacity News website. Thank you so much for your time. Thank you.